Oh, what's up? YouTube? I'm going live. That's fun. It's another Aquarian Renaissance Roundtable every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central European Time, which is about now. And I'm going live because we haven't been going live because, it makes it more intimate. People can be open. They're not worried about being broadcast live to YouTube while they're sharing in a meeting room. And they're small meetings. This one's so small, it's only just me. But it can be bigger if I go live and share. What is it all about? I wrote a nice little newsletter diving into that a couple days ago. Maybe I'll read it to you. It's pretty... Well, I'm proud of my writing. I'm a good writer. I'll just tell you. And trust me, because... Why should you trust me? This is a good question. Maybe you're asking yourself it already, but if you didn't, now I'm asking it for you. And for me, why should you trust me? In this world that is so often untrustworthy. That's what we're meeting untrustworthy connections. And that is a shame. And the reason that I'm doing these Renaissance roundtables is to try and build a culture that will allow us to trust each other again. To try and create some level of understanding, and that it's really what it is. It's a moral revolution that I'm looking to plant seeds for, right? I want to see a world in which people can trust each other, and that is the default. For me, I'm a trusting person, often to my detriment in this crazy world. But I'm obstinate about that. I'm determined to be a trusting person. And Astarius Miraculi is an amazing healer and poet that has this beautiful poem, Trust and Forgiveness, that I highly recommend anybody to go and investigate. Astarius Miraculi, Trust and Forgiveness. He has it on YouTube, and his website is astarius.com, I believe. And I should memorize it. I know just the beginning part, which is trust and forgiveness, the sacred twins. Trust brought you to this earth, and to heaven forgiveness ascends. And I won't go on because I'll probably mess it up, and sorry about that. But look him up. He's got this great video, a couple great videos where he's sharing overtone healing to allow us to forgive and to embrace trust. And I think trust could be the foundation on which we build the future. I think it's actually a good place to start. Trust is a must when you're living truth to you. Hold on. Okay, so I'm going to read my article that I mentioned. What is the Aquarian Renaissance all about? Did you know the name Kenya comes from Mount Kenya, the second highest mountain in Africa? The mountain, which was originally known by the Kikuyu people as Kirinyaga or Kerenyaga, meaning mountain of brightness or white, referring to its snow-capped peak. Although mispronunciation by the colonizers eventually gave us the name Kenya. Now stretch your mind with me for a moment. Try saying Kenya out loud. Then try saying one or both of the original names to see how the sound compares. Kirinyaga or Kirinyaga. To appreciate the difference is to revive an aspect of world heritage. To see what's been lost to the general utterers of this place name. A snow-capped mountain is a beacon of beauty for all throughout the land, all around it. A symbol of great power and majesty. To know the original name for such an iconic, phenomenal presence on the earth invites you into a deeper relationship with it. If you're like me, your curiosity is piqued. Get it? Pun intended. You may start to wonder what stories people have about the mountain that gave a whole country its name, or what other inspiring presences are here on the earth awaiting your remembrance or discovery, and what fascinating nuances surround our relationships with them. All of this musing is equally applicable and valid in other realms besides geography. Realms more accessible for casual exploration, such as the realm of personality. To me, the Aquarian Renaissance is all about developing a healthy familiarity and appreciation for the vast array of features which we can find throughout the realms we inhabit. Some of these features we share with others, some of them are entirely our own. There is no end to such exploration, but there is definitely a purpose and many benefits which result from taking the time to grow in this way, to know thyself. Thou must know thy worlds, for they are bound up within one another, reflecting here and there across countless others and within other worlds. For example, one other world which we rely on for survival is the plant world. Rudolf Steiner, who lived from 1861 to 1925 and was an Austrian philosopher, social reformer, and esotericist, best known for founding anthroposophy and the Waldorf education movement and biodynamic agriculture. He wrote a book called How to Know Higher Worlds. That's a rough translation from German. In which he prescribes a method for observing the transformational processes of life and death as a way to begin perceiving previously imperceptible aspects of reality. You know, as we are human here, we have this frequency bandwidth that we see, right? But there's so many more frequencies, a wide range that we don't. And I'm learning that that is a Piscean, all that realm that we don't see, the unseen realm, is Piscean, right? From Pisces, the fish, like swimming in the water, what we don't see past the surface. The great mystery, right, beyond, that we are able to stretch our perception towards, to grow in consciousness, to raise our level of perception. You know, one of my teachers, Barbara Brennan, called it high sense perception. And you know, she was able to see the different layers of the human energy field. And interestingly, our physical bodies do not produce the energy field. Our physical bodies are a result of the energy field. You know, and they proved this like with Carillion photography, showing that if you cut a leaf and then you take a picture of it with a camera that's able to show you that energy, the energy is still there of the leaf. So it's kind of like, you know, it's a demonstration that actually the physical aspect it's not producing the energetic aspect. Because if you had cut it in half, then the energy would be in half as well, right? And there's been many other demonstrations of this. We are physicality emerging from spirituality, or from a more subtle physicality, right? We come from the subtle into the gross. We come from spirit into matter. And we are still in the process of embodiment. Actually, we're in a cycle, right, of greater embodiment and lesser. And that's a long history I would love to get into if nobody's going to join on the call. And even if somebody does. But let me just finish my article here. So as I read the Rudolf Steiner book, How to Know Higher Worlds, I was thinking to myself, the method that he's describing is being followed by gardeners, like usually without them realizing it. People with a green thumb intuitively pay close attention to the processes of life and death, and that helps them, have success with their cultivation, right? And Steiner was talking about sitting down and looking at something which is alive, something which is expressing this process of life, and just really focusing with a relaxed gaze on that to, just to be present with it. And so you're deeply observing. And, that's a very valuable practice. Not only because it has the direct benefit of giving you the sensitivity and the connection to cultivate a garden, hey, more successfully, and understand what the plants need so you can give it to them. But also because it has this effect on your consciousness to open it up, to allow. And there's many practitioners of similar types of activity that they describe this, of being able to perceive greater things, beyond the normal senses, because of this relaxed presence of just allowing. And then Steiner also talks about, on the other side, observing the process of something dying, and you see how that's different, right? And so that's a beautiful process. I recommend. I've done that, and it's beautiful and revelatory. One great way to become more of an Aquarian Renaissance artist is to look after some plants, like I was saying. Not only can they make your home more beautiful and feed you, they can also help you grow spiritually, lift you up towards your ultimate potential. Potted plants, Harry Potter, that's all potential. I was thinking about pots, potions, magical potential. May you live into greater potential, daily, weekly, yearly, monthly, all the times. Another way to grow spiritually is to give charitably. And I could suggest a specific charity to donate to, which is a permaculture institute, gardeners that I know in Kenya, bringing it full circle to them. They are seeking farm tools. This is a friend of mine from Facebook, the Odienya Permaculture Institute in Kenya. Odienya in Kenya, right? Or Kirinyaga. They are seeking some financial support contributions for tools. So I'm gonna put email right in the chat on this YouTube, and you can send to their PayPal. I'll send that. I'll send you the whole sentence in the chat, because these guys are beautiful. I've been following them on Facebook. They reach out to me. Oh, I can't post the whole sentence at once. Look at that. So Oops, now it looks like it's my PayPal account, but it's not. Oh, how confusing. How confusing. Alright, anyway. Odienya Permaculture Institute in Kenya. Recommending just to check them out on the Facebook. I can maybe also put a link to there. It's beautiful. They're farmers. They're growing for their community. And permaculture is sustainable farming. Well, it's actually more than that. It's a whole system. Like, we're doing permaculture with the Aquarian Renaissance. It's with these roundtables. It's an indigenous revival, and I'm actually putting on a summit in 1 month that is the Aquarian Renaissance Indigenous Revival. So I'm super excited. I've been recording interviews of amazing indigenous wisdom keepers and speakers, and also people who are bringing the visionary blueprints, solutions for society going forth into this age of Aquarius. When I mentioned about Pisces, we're coming out of the age of Pisces. And I don't know, I want to say, because it's like the unseen realms, right? But it's also the unseeing realm, or it's the unseeing age. The age where we had our blinders on in many ways. And now the scales will fall from our eyes, and we will move forward into a brilliant age of also, Aquarian is water, but it's an air age. It's like we're coming into the air, like the dragonfly that lives as a larva in the water, swimming like the Pisces. If they swim, I'm not really sure if a dragonfly larva swims. Probably. I don't know. Maybe they just sit somewhere in the water. Or crawl. I don't know what a dragonfly larva looks like. But I certainly know what a dragonfly looks like, because I'm out here in the air looking at them fly around. And that's the journey of consciousness we're on right now, that transformation from the water to the sky. We can take wings and fly. And so we shall. Many blessings. And I was going to talk about the history that I'm listening to, going way back. The first Renaissance was a revival of the ancient, like the ancient humanities, of appreciation for the human body, and realizing that we live a beautiful life right here and now, instead of going with the doctrines of the church that caused the Dark Ages, where people were told and followed the advice of their spiritual leaders to put off and deny the goodness of the world in hopes that they would be rewarded in the afterworld, right? We've all heard that, probably. And it's quite the opposite, right? The heaven, as above, so below, right? We are creating a heaven on earth in this Aquarian age. That is the mission, and that is the destiny. That's our destiny. To create a beautiful heavenly realm right here on the earth. It's been done before in the ancient past by the civilization of Atlantis, Lemuria, when we had a higher consciousness. We're going through cycles of consciousness. Right? There's a rise and a fall, and now we're on the rise. So let's rise together, and we can discover more about ourselves, our authenticity, begin to expand our perceptions, and look deeper within our own hearts to find trust there, to find that gift of comfort that allows us to relax into life and to be in bliss and to live in trust. Because without trust, we get trouble, right? You see the effects that we have. We can't trust one another, and it's a downward spiral. But it doesn't have to be like that. But it just takes some presence. It takes some perseverance. It takes the willingness, the curiosity to explore yourself, to see what it is about you, what experiences you may have had that may have closed you up to the possibility for trust in some way. And to heal those experiences. And like I said, I'm going to recommend one more time that you check out Astarius Miraculi and his poem about trust, because it comes from the knowledge that we are creators and we attract that vibration which we are holding on to. So if we're holding on to the vibration of distrust, there's a poem, part of his poem. He says, the weapon of distrust breeds the, how does he say it? You got to look it up. Because he said, distrustful ones will come to you until you trust again. He says something that rhymes with again in the first line of that little couplet, which I can't think of right now. But look him up, check it out. Trust and forgive. Forgive yourself, liberate yourself, fly free like the dragonfly. And the history, I keep mentioning, I'm talking about this ancient Atlantis because I'm listening to an audiobook right now that's called The Empires of Atlantis. And that is talking about some history. Let's start at the very beginning. Everything is musical. It's a very good place to start. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Right? Singing the truth to you right now. We began as spirits. We come from the stars. And we arrived onto the earth, as visitors. As eternal beings of light. As creators. As divine sparks. All from the same source. Droplets that contain the whole ocean. And we began a long process of condensing, right? Of inhabiting, of embodying, it's been called involution. I mean, we were evolving, but we were involving ourselves as spirits, great eternal spirits of light, into this physical realm of dense matter. And it's a very rare opportunity to do this. I've spoken about this before from another audiobook I was listening. The majority of life forms in the universe are in a spiritual experience, right? They're not on planets like this. It's rare to find a rocky planet like the Earth. It's rare to find matter that's this dense anywhere. Most life forms in the universe are made of plasma. And I'll recommend this other book, this Serpent of... No, it's the Cosmic Serpent by Jeremy Narby. And that goes into this concept about the majority of life being plasma out there. Scientists have been discovering this, and many interesting observations about the consciousness that is within plasma. People observing ball lightning, just plasma balls going around and expressing their intention, their evident consciousness that they have and willfulness about them. And watch out for those plasma lightning balls. Hey, maybe they could give you blessings too, like the human design system. Uh, uh, Basically, it's kind of like a new I Ching. It's something we could talk about on these calls because it's really going along with the Aquarian Renaissance kind of theme. It's like this spiritual being appeared to the man who brought us the human design system, channeled it, right? Was given it in a download from this ball of light. And it's like an ancient I Ching, right? It's like the I Ching, which is this Chinese system from ancient times. The emperors would use to be able to consult the wisdom of the cosmos, and it maps onto our DNA. And in this book, the Cosmic Serpent, the author talks about the DNA being this fundamental life force structure, right? That is not just it's fundamentally the same for all life. It's like a universal pattern that isn't just like it's the variation within the DNA is just a small amount between us, but the majority of it is this unifying principle of biology, and it expresses not only in the gross physical matter, but in the ethereal, right? In the subtle matter, in the spirit. And so we came from that, and we are still that, or that is who we truly are, is this spiritual consciousness, intelligence, and growing, evolving life force principle that's one with the whole universe, right? We are all part of one whole being. And it's the great cosmic serpent. And also we're having this refraction, we're having this moment of breaking into facets of everyone having a unique way that they are looking, the third dimensional perspective of being able to focus just on one experience, to fully immerse into that, and to like we are blocking out, right, a lot of our actual faculties and denying them because we become more and more stuck into the gross physicality of things, and to such a great extent the materialism, and that is all part of the journey. But in this ancient history, we went through phases, and I was various people like Madame Blavatsky and I think Rudolf Steiner is one of them, Edgar Cayce, and others, also the author of this book that I'm listening to, referencing to them about the involution and the root races. We have many cycles of history on this earth that are known to people who are able to connect with spirit and receive more information, which is available. We can all become more connected and access more information. We don't have to just only take what some teacher tells us, some other human being. Like we can all do spiritual research, and this book, How to Know Higher Worlds by Rudolf Steiner, is a great place to start in order to do that spiritual research, like to develop these faculties. And there are many ways. Everyone will have their unique way to open themselves up to a greater way to perceive information, to look within for their guidance, for their authority, for their wisdom from spirit and information that can be very relevant and useful. And there's a whole process learning that has to be done as far as discerning from information, which we're doing, right, in the digital realm, and very, very high level now of discernment that's being needed. And it's an exercise, and there's multiple levels to it, right? There's things that we read, we have to discern that information, and then there's also things that we perceive, like feelings. Asking ourselves, if I feel something, is it actually coming from me? Or if I believe something, actually, what is the source of my belief? So these are the types of things that will be wonderful to explore on this weekly call. It's every week, and it's 7 p.m. Central European Time. It's 1 p.m. Eastern Time in the US. And the Aquarian Renaissance is about us accessing and exercising who we truly are, expressing our authentic selves, and being seen, being heard, being validated, being accepted, supporting ourselves, supporting each other, building a culture of trust so that we can move into freedom and not slavery. Right? So that we can authentically stand in our truth as the great beings of spirit that we are, and speak it and be respected. No matter who we're speaking to, we can speak from our truth and receive respect, and we give respect just the same. So it's a work that has to be done to grow in this way, to be self-accepting and accepting of others, and to be able to navigate the dynamics of where my freedom begins and yours ends, right? How can we share the earth and all express ourselves in the way that's authentic for us without diminishing another's ability to do that? And it's not just amongst us humans either. You know, all the beings have the right to express themselves here. And it's our sacred responsibility to be sharing, to be compassionate, to be aware, and not violent, right? To be peaceful. It's our responsibility to create peace. And the way we have to do that is to get curious, to explore together, to take the time to share presence with our own selves, to breathe and to feel, to consider other perspectives, even if it's the perspective of a plant that you want to grow in your kitchen window. So, sending you lots of love, and don't you worry, don't you fuss. There is love amongst us. We are learning, the fire's burning. It's a great, great adventure to be on this world together. Yes, we are like the dragonflies, emerging out to the open sky. We are beings of light, and we are ending the fight. Oh, ready for a musical realization, listening to the vibration of our true heart song. We've been at this for oh so long. We are eternal souls. We are becoming whole. We are growing older and wiser. And this heart is on fire for that wisdom. It's a philosophy. Sharpen your file and see. Ooh. rather sharpen with your file. I don't know. So I love you guys, and connect with me. Come to the weekly free Aquarian Renaissance, and look forward to the Aquarian Renaissance Indigenous Revival Summit in 1 month. I'll be sharing the link real soon, and so look for that. You can subscribe to my email. That's how I let people know about these meetings, and Telegram, on Law of the Earth Telegram. And yeah, if you find me on Telegram, then you find that email. my email newsletter is called Integrate Fullness, and that is the ultimate expression of where this train is headed, to integrate more of our potential. Yes. So bless.